Welcome to the New Creators Podcast. My name is Micah.
My name's Sean.
I'm Perrin.
And I'm Corbin.
Hey.
And this is the New Creators Podcast, episode 10. We are at 10 episodes in.
Double digits.
Double digits.
Baby.
We're in the double digits club now. I am personally very excited because that's a decent milestone for a podcast. We're still not like big yet, but like, hey, 10 episodes in just a few months that's not half bad.
Frankly, I'm surprised we made it this far. I say like I am a regular host.
Yeah.
This is true. I don't know where Ethan is, to be honest. Like, I thought he was joining us, but I texted him and
probably asleep.
like he
Got lost in the sauce.
it's like 4 p.m.
He's probably still sleeping.
It's like 3 p.m. for
You never
him,
know
but
with
like
Ethan.
Meanwhile, it's
Who
10
knows?
p.m. over here.
yeah, who knows? He may pop in at some point. But yeah. So for now, we just got the four of us, and yeah. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about reception to the previous episode, which I don't think we've done that in a few episodes actually. So let's talk a little bit about that. So the last episode was Metaverse Mayhem. Am I correct about that?
Yeah. That was the one with
yeah.
Perrin also being a host.
Perrin was also host, and then
I've been
and
on,
then
I think this
poor
is my
Ken was
fifth
there.
episode. So I've been on every
Yes.
other episode.
Like basically half the
point.
episodes.
That's fair. Yeah.
Would not be
so that
surprised
is
if I've been
actually.
on more episodes than Ethan at this point.
I think you have. I think you definitely have.
You've been in 3 in a row too.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
man. I wasn't
So
I
we've
wasn't
got,
lying when I first came here that I was coming for Ethan's job.
Oh, hell yeah.
We've got two, and his bones
And his
too.
bones, can't forget.
And his bones.
Gotta have
Hashtag
those.
never forget.
So we've got 27 plays according to Anchor, which is again only considers some things. That's a decent amount. 27 full plays. And then let's take a look also at the YouTube account analytics, which I don't think we've looked at before. And let's see if I can get into YouTube Studio. All right. So as far as our content goes, we are still sitting at a measly 16 subscribers.
16. Still 16.
So, yeah, hey, it's 16 people, so I'm not complaining. But if you're not already subscribed,
if you get two more, then they can legally drink because that's 18 in Scotland. So there you go.
Man, not in the U.S. though.
yeah, I better say not in the U.S.
Well, that's
In the
your
US,
that's
you
that's
can
a
be 21.
you problem.
It is.
That's
frankly.
true. That's fair. Yeah. So we have so we've got 16 subscribers, and our most viewed video it remains to be Sean talking about his Scottish accent.
Yes.
With over 1.5 thousand views.
Oh, thanks for stroking my ego
so-
there, guys.
Yeah.
Man.
So that's apparently people like the accent. So
Who wouldn't?
well, now
Let's
we
be
know
real.
why people really listen to the New Creators. It's just to hear Sean's accent
All kind of new.
and nothing else. I see. I have no idea what that means or what you just said.
Oh, yes to now. That's what I meant. I'm just gonna start saying random Scottish things just to confuse
Okay.
you.
Please do, because apparently that drives up viewership. So
Just turn them on
let's
the
just-
shorts.
hey, absolutely.
If we could set
Let's
a
talk
quota
about-
of like maybe 100 to 150 Scottish words in any given episode, I think their ratings would
I feel like that's a
That-
very large
Oh,
amount.
yeah.
I don't think we're ready.
you mean like a minimum? Like a minimum?
Yeah,
amount?
yeah, that's the minimum.
well,
If we
okay.
can go above and beyond, that would be great. I think corporate would really like that.
You know all those jokes about how British people
corporate.
stop doing the accent when no one's around, and that's all just like a persona that
Yeah.
they put in.
I have
for-
not
it's just
seen that.
It's just a character. I don't actually say those words in real life. Totally.
Man.
It's actually making
That's
up all these
funny.
words on the spot too.
Yeah,
Really
they're not.
impressive,
I was-
honestly. It's a
There was also
fantastic
that
piece of
real-
improv.
There's
Yeah.
also that funny reel I sent. I sent
Oh,
in the shot
oh,
and the
aye,
thing.
aye.
Most calm Scottish person.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it was like because they're coming back from like England into Scotland or something. And it's like Scotland, brilliant.
Yeah,
Man.
I thought that was pretty funny. So again, I
Yeah.
get stuff like that. I just have to share it.
Yeah.
But,
I just thought
Anyway.
I thought I'd say though, because like at the end of that reel, like the Blair bagpipes, I despise bagpipes.
yes.
Like they're
Man.
just
Really?
annoying. They are
Call
Okay.
annoying.
yourself
Right.
a Scot.
Right, because what happens is my local Sainsbury's, which is basically imagine Walmart. It's like it's a big supermarket, right?
Okay.
And when you walk into like the entrance at the kind of foyer thing, sometimes they'll have like a band which is like just bagpipers, and you can hear it ring throughout the entire building, and I
no.
can't even hear myself think. And I'm just like, I need to leave this building now. Besides Sainsbury's, it's so expensive.
That is
but-
the most Scottish thing I've ever heard. Y'all just have like bagpipes in your supermarket.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
that
just
is
that place,
legendary.
like, you know, like I've been to Aldi and Asda. I mean, again, I'm speaking foreign now, pretty much.
Y'all
usually.
have Aldi?
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
Aldi.
we have Aldi.
Okay.
Aldi's
We have
huge
Aldi
here.
in the US.
Aldi's huge. Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that in the US. It's not as big here, I don't think. Like, it's a
And-
little less common, but
I think it's getting bigger.
Because
but-
Asda used to be owned by Walmart, so that's basically our Walmart equivalent,
gotcha.
which also sucks.
Interesting.
Just want to put that out
I see.
there.
Interesting. Well, on that note, Sean, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you've been working on lately?
So so other than practicing my Scottish words and my accent, mainly just stuff on my server, like promo stuff. I sent it to you guys. You've probably seen it. It's the ones where like I'm combining
Yeah.
like basically I take two random messages that I find funny and just smash them together and see what comes out. I think one of them was like philosophy. It was one of your messages pairing in like the discussion channel, which is like our debates channel basically. And I went and said, I was like, how'd they go again? That's really annoying. How'd they go?
I would say, where in your server are these?
If you
'Cause I
go
can't-
to, it should be on the starboard because it got starred.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
should be.
Gotcha, okay.
You should be able to find it
All
there.
right, all right.
I think one.
I think I have the starboard muted, so...
Excuse
How
me.
dare you?
How dare you? Honestly,
Oh,
I'm
for
going.
once
I'm
I
going to
found it, I
demote
found it,
you
I
now.
found it.
You're getting demoted.
There's actually a few channels that I haven't... I think, okay, the ones I have muted in your server are I have music muted, gaming muted.
Excuse. Wait.
Food muted.
Stop. You
How
you
dare
muted
you.
music. You muted music. That means you're not hearing my music
need-
rants. You're not
look,
hearing my music
I need
rants. I'm
to
very upset.
I need to unmute. I'll tell you what. I'll unmute music because I respect that.
I was about to
But
rage quit the
sports and
podcast
food,
right now.
I'm muted. I have audit log muted too. I probably shouldn't have that. I should probably
No,
have
no,
that
keep on
unmuted,
I have
just
on
for
mine
reference.
muted. Just because
Um,
you don't really need to see those messages. It's not.
Well,
it's not
it can be
super
helpful
important.
sometimes, but
That's true.
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, so basically, I think one of them was like I took Perrin's message, which was like philosophy is so interesting or something I talk about, and then off topic, someone made a joke about let's talk about our today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN or something. I just combined
Yes.
them together. So it's like philosophy is so interesting, and now to our sponsor, Surfshark VPN.
this one, yeah. So I found the image. So it says philosophy is so complicated but fun to discuss. Let me tell you about Raid Shadow Legends and Surfshark.
I just thought that was funny. So I keep combining different things.
Man, one of them is I for real thought Twitter was owned by the whole Persona 4 OST.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just like I say, I just took
There's some
random
good ones.
messages.
Does
Yeah, so I just thought that's
So-
a good way to like do it as a goofy kind of way to promote the server.
so out of curiosity, like where are those going? Like, are you using those to actively promote the servers anymore?
Not
or
ye-
like just like
Not yet. I need to talk with the mod team about it because I want to like think about where to put them. I'm thinking trying to promote on Way Stuff a little bit on my like account or something. We'll see.
it's a good idea.
And it's also just a bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't
But-
end up like being used for something, it's a fun little design exercise.
Oh, it
Yeah,
definitely is.
basically.
Also, I think I've mentioned this before, but I just love like the Taz Hangout logo and like how it's like closely connected to your logo.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's just not.
Alright.
It's very close. I like it.
I need to explain that because people have said that it's pointless because people say I don't understand why it's like that. I'll explain it right now because I'm very angry. There is a meaning behind
Okay.
it, and that is right. So obviously, you know how it kind of looks like a Wi-Fi signal. That is very much
Yeah.
intentional because the idea is this is very philosophical because obviously Wi-Fi connects people across different countries and that, and since Taz Hangout's a kind of a multinational server, I thought, look, it connects people. Clever. There you go. So that's why. So stop trying to make out that it's like not cool because it is. Don't question my skills, basically.
No, I like it. I think it's really
I
cool.
remember when you made the switch the logo, everyone was like, why? What is the point of this? I liked the old one better. I mean, it's
That's
just-
like
it's no different.
that's like literally
basically.
anyone.
For
Anyone
It
ever.
doesn't matter
Anyone
what
when you make a
the-
design change.
Yeah, that's the same thing goes
Yeah.
for basically any logo change ever. But
Because I remember it was when Google, I think, rebranded, they went from the serif font to like their current logo, and people were like, why did they change it? I hate the new one. And now everyone just knows the new one.
yeah, The
Yeah.
old ones. I mean, the old one's not very good in hindsight.
It's
let's be real.
terrible.
It's
not.
really
Yeah.
not.
It's really bad.
It's
Yeah.
It's almost
pretty
like people
cringe.
just don't like the change part.
Yeah.
It's like that's the part they're
for
scared
real.
of. But
People are resistant to change. Yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Just like Ethan's
cool.
resistant to Perrin taking over his job.
Man.
Or
What?
lack
What?
of resistance.
What?
He's gonna get tired
Lack
one
of
day.
resistance.
resistance is futile.
For real.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Parent takeover is here.
Yeah.
And it just
Well,
starts with the job too. Pretty soon it'll be. I mean, first it's Bones, but then his whole life too.
Yeah. You're gonna like
Just
take
every-
over his
every-
body and start piloting him around from the inside.
Like Ratatouille.
He's.
Where it's
Like
gonna
Ratatouille, he's in Ethan's hat.
yeah.
Oh
He's kind of
my
yanking on.
God,
I don't
that
know
is
like
if he
Get
has
Out,
long
where-
hair or not, but
It's like Get Out,
Oh
where
my
he's
God.
still gonna be like like aware of what's going on, but only as like a passenger.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
Stay in
like
the
Oh,
back
weird.
seat.
it's like funny, but also that's somewhat terrifying if that was real.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how
Oh, gosh.
the bugs that have like the zombie parasite feel.
Man.
But then again, I'm not one to
The
speculate
zombie.
on the mind of a bug.
Man.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I forgot.
That technically your promo stuff. Is
Oh,
there
yeah.
anything else you were working on that you wanted to promote?
Nothing I could tell you about because that's the issue, right?
Ah.
Right. This is the other thing I want to talk about. Since we're on the 10th episode, when we came up with the idea of doing this segment for like, what we're working on. Well, kind of my brand's based on the fact that I keep everything a secret until I release it.
Yeah.
That's
true.
a slight problem.
That's true.
So I just can't have to think of like random stuff I'm doing that like will never
Okay,
ever see the
fair
light
enough.
of day. But yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Gotcha.
Very
Gotcha.
cool.
Very neat. Okay. I've been working on school plot twist.
Oh my god, I can't
yeah.
believe it.
Look at that. So yeah, just been doing school and kind of surviving that. I am actually leaving, so my spring break technically starts next week. So that's what date is that? That would be the 13th. Is technically my first day of spring break. But instead of that, I'm a part of the choir ensemble at my school, and we are going on spring tour starting Wednesday. So
Very
on
cool.
Wednesday, I get to leave school early, and we're going on tour for like 5 days. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'll be singing at various places in the south of the United States. So, indeed.
Very nice.
And then, aside from that, again, I think I published like a update to Waste of Money like a while ago, but it was like a minor bug fix update, and I like updated like the React Native code base or something like that. Something stupid, nothing of consequence. So I haven't had time to work on anything significant. So
Fair enough.
Very cool.
Perrin, what about you? What have you been working
So
on?
I've been also working on school, but to be perfectly honest, there's not that much to do this semester. I mean, I could be doing stuff, but like, you know how it is. So right now I'm redesigning all the uniforms for every team in the NFL again. I'm going through
Again.
Well,
Again.
not again. Like I only did.
I'm just doing it all over again.
Well, I only got like 5 or 6 in there, or like 7 or 8 or whatever. But I'm like doing a bunch
Okay.
more. Like I got all but I think 7 done right now. All but 7. So I
Gotcha.
did like
Okay, then.
20 new teams just for fun. And some of them are like very tiny changes where it's like, oh, I changed the shading of the logo a bit, or I tweak the colors, or I make the face mask purple instead of black for the Vikings or whatever.
Gotcha.
But some of
Yeah.
them are like, oh, I'm redesigning the whole thing because what they have right now is, to be frank, quite sucky. You know?
Go, we're
enough.
going we have to stop you now, or else you start ranting about. Like,
I'm gonna say you're
sports
gonna
stuff.
start ranting
For
again,
sure.
and we already.
We're going to give you a
established
time
an episode
limit.
for that.
Yeah. But
This is the first warning. If you
yeah.
get 3, you strike out.
Yeah. Okay. But other stuff
Just
I'm
remove
doing
you from the call.
for
Just to kick
school-
you.
As far as like school assignments go, I have to like make a book cover for my typography class. So I'm like taking
Nice.
Helvetica as a base, and I had to pick a novel, and I had to make sure I like use the right handful of text stuff. Like I had to like Has to be, oh, here's the name, here's the author, here's the publisher. Has to say a novel on it somewhere or whatever. And
Just a
aside from
novel.
that, go crazy.
A novel.
A
A
novel.
novel.
It's
Just
a novel.
a novel.
Yeah.
Just any novel.
Any novel.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
Coloring book.
my professor gave us like a list of like 5 or 6 that I'm picking from. So I'm doing The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells for fun.
That's a good book, actually.
It's a solid
It's a good
book.
book.
Reading.
I'm having
Yes,
fun
I
with
do that.
I also got to make a sauce brand because I got an assignment for a
sauce
different
brand.
class, and the prompt is just sauce, and you can take sauce in any direction you want. Except I have no idea, so I'm probably just gonna go something
Sauce.
really straightforward and just make this is a condiment brand, and they make chipotle mayo or whatever. It's just something like that, just because I have no ideas right now.
Hey,
But I'll
fair
figure it
enough.
out. So yeah, that's about everything.
Speaking of branding, there's something else you should probably mention as well, since it's only like
Oh,
5
yes,
days until
I
it
keep forgetting.
closes. You're welcome. I
uh,
saved it there.
For real, I was completely forgotten. Brand Battle 5 is going strong. The branding contest I'm hosting on Scratch. We've got a good amount of entries signed up so far for the sign-up
Yeah.
round, but it closes on Friday, so finally 5 days left. Well, from the time of recording, whenever this episode ends
Yeah.
up getting published, who
And-
knows? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
deadline's coming up, so if you're listening and you care about design contests on Scratch of all places, then feel free to join while you still can, while the's still time to do so.
Yeah,
Please
because if you
join.
don't,
Gotcha.
yeah, because if you don't do it, then obviously, like I say, we'll send the mafia to your house.
For
Or something
real.
like that. For real.
Something,
Brand Battle
Man.
Mafia.
you know.
Perrin, we're
Turns
at-
out it's just like the Scratch team. It's just the Scratch team. We're gonna send the Scratch team to your house.
Yeah,
Man.
Perrin will add your name to the bones list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll
we'll steal your
everyone's
bones. Well,
Man.
I won't steal your bones, but Perrin and Corbin will do it.
Yeah, we'll go. Well, Corbin can help, but he's
He can be moral support.
he's not a professional like I am. You know? There's
No,
like a
as-
certain
as
amount of like
stated on-
skill and grace to it that Corbin just is. It's not quite there. Like no offense to you,
Yeah.
Corbin, but like, you know, you're not quite there yet. Maybe soon.
Still a
Fair
bit
enough.
rusty.
Maybe
Still don't know
someday.
how to tell a tibula from a fibula.
For real.
Oh dear.
So what have you been working on, Corbin?
So still the same thing as last time, 2 whole episodes ago. I'm still working on the Moon Rover, which is still not full size. It is 10 whole pounds. And that was supposed to end on this Friday, the project. It was supposed to be due then. We do not have a functioning robot, and so we are extending it another 2 weeks. And hoping we can get a functioning robot by then. If we do, we can probably get an A on the project. If we do not, we'll probably be stuck with a C on the project. And so there's a lot riding on getting this robot working, which is great, except for the fact that I cannot help very much because on the 8th, this upcoming Wednesday, from whenever this is recorded, I am going to be boarding a plane and then 2 more planes and end up in India. And I'll
Wow.
be there for 2 months working on a project there before finally returning home at the end of the school year. So
okay.
I am going to be gone for a while.
It's very cool. That's super cool, actually.
Yeah. I like the way you said it, 'cause it was like, just somehow you're just randomly going to end up in India for no reason. Just a
Oh,
trip
yeah,
to
no.
the
Yeah, I'm gonna like fall
Here.
asleep and
Blink and
wake
you're
up
on-
and be
Ugh, every
Yeah.
time I blink and like open my eyes again, I'm on a different plane. SMH.
just kind of scrambles my position on the globe. I just hope I get lucky and it's on land.
Yeah.
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 Oh gosh.
It's like GeoGuessr, but in real life.
Yeah.
Right,
I know,
but
they
the
just drop
whole-
you somewhere.
The whole Earth is fair game.
Man,
Except China because there's no coverage there. So
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
They just drop you like in the sky above the North Pole.
Yeah.
You gotta figure
Parachute.
it out.
They'll give you a parachute.
Gotta stick
Complimentary.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is an EA game, so it costs like an extra $50 in-app purchases.
But if you press like B at just the right time, you can go into a roll. And
Yeah, and they
just
can
to make
go-
sure you
yeah.
don't clip through the North Pole and just continue falling.
Into
Uh,
the
that'd
box,
be-
like the
the Earth,
background.
which is definitely hollow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I
There's
mean,
also the
why-
Cloves DLC as well, so you don't, you know.
Yeah. But like, why would the Earth have
The
anything
Caves and
besides
Cliffs
the surface
update
have to
hasn't
be
come out
rendered?
yet, so there's nothing underneath the ground.
Yeah. It just takes up too much computing power
There is
to render the
nothing.
whole Earth, and so they just kind of just do the bit you can see
Man,
and hope no
We
one digs
live
too
in
deep.
a simulation.
Yeah.
so true.
Whoa.
We should probably get to at least the interesting news we've seen lately, because we're like 26 minutes into the recording and we're
Amazing.
like barely past the
God.
second segment.
2-hour
So,
marathon.
Let's go. 2 hour episode. We just need to do an episode. I have pitch idea. Not actually going to happen, but pitch idea nonetheless. What if we do a TNC episode, except we just do it for an entire 24 hours, and just when it's time for Sean to go to sleep, then someone else takes his place,
Yeah, I'm just
who's on the other side of the planet,
Yeah,
and then we just rotate hosts for 24
like a
hours.
summon
Sounds like an
song.
excellent idea.
If only you knew someone who'd be on the opposite end of the globe at that time, maybe
Oh, I guarantee you I do.
Yeah.
Something like
I'm
I'm
that.
gonna say
Well,
Corbin,
there's
you'd
so
be
many.
another 7 hours after Sean, though. So you'd be
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we could
6
get
in the
someone
morning
from
or whatever.
Australia or New Zealand. I feel that.
I'm gonna
could-
say we know Vectory's from New Zealand. I bet Vectory would come on.
Victoria, come on the podcast now.
please.
Come on the podcast,
Right now.
Vectory. We want to see it. We want
You know
to
you
see
can
on
hear us.
New Creators. I don't even know if does Vectory listen to New Creators. I
He
don't know
better.
or not.
He better if he
should.
knows what's good for him.
He should. I don't know if he does, but I'll have to ask him about that.
And if he
and
doesn't, I'm gonna steal his
Yeah,
bones too.
the list is growing rapidly.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to interesting things we see in the news. Okay, so again, we're gonna rant about Apple for just a bit here. Again, so if you didn't know already, due to the European Union having some requirements, the iPhone 15 is going to have USB-C, which is yay! Now
Hey.
universal charging for everybody finally
Good
after
idea.
12 years. So we get USB-C, which is great, but apparently they're bringing back the Made for iPhone program, and they are going to restrict the kinds of devices that you can use with USB-C to specific USB-C devices made for iPhone,
Man.
Damn.
Oh.
instead of just allowing the USB-C standard, which is a
'Cause you'd
standard
think
that already
the
exists.
standard would be enough, right?
I know.
Yes, the only reason they would do it like this is to make more money by making
Exactly.
people
It's
making
the-
companies pay for an iPhone certification.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's like
can't
the Mr.
imagine-
Krabs meme. Mr. Krabs meme is like,
Yeah.
"Hello, I like money."
Exactly. I can't imagine.
Apple all the time.
Pretty
I
much.
can't imagine
Though
the
I-
difference between Apple's standards and the regular FC.
No,
I don't know
no.
what the
That's the
European
difference. There is
Union's
no
equivalent of FCC
no
would be.
difference.
Exactly. So
There
what's
is
the
there is no difference.
point?
Well, there
aside
is a
from
difference. You're missing
money?
the difference here. There is a difference, and that is it has the Apple logo on it.
Yeah, one of them costs an extra $200.
Whoa.
There you go.
It must
Now
be
I
like
will
so much
say that as of now, the source of this information is a leaker, which of course the leaker this is a leaker who has been prone to being relatively correct in history in recent product releases and stuff like that. So we don't know 100%, but I can totally see Apple doing this. I would not at all be surprised if they did this, because this would be completely in line.
Yeah,
with,
this sounds like Apple.
with everything they've done.
This sounds
yeah.
very much like Apple. Though I still want Tim Cook to, sponsor the podcast, please.
Yeah, thanks. But also, I'm not. It's annoying, but again, I was kind of expecting something like this.
It's
I'm
Apple,
still
so-
kind of glad that I'm still kind of glad that we're getting universal charging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like
when
a win's
I
a
have
win.
friends with iPhones over, then they're like, hey, can I borrow a charger? I'm like, no, I don't have iPhone chargers on me. I don't keep Lightning chargers in my house. But now everyone's gonna be using USB-C. It's like kumbaya. So it's great.
And you've got to thank Europe for that. You're welcome, guys.
Thanks.
That's true.
Appreciate it.
The European Union is forcing some stuff to happen, which big government. Okay. Regardless, apparently we also have some rumors that Microsoft is working on Windows 12 after they specifically said a few years ago
Yeah.
that Windows 10 is the last Windows, but apparently not.
Apparently not. No. I,
So who put this in the doc? Was that
it
you,
was
Sean?
me. It was me. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Why don't you explain it?
I assume you probably already saw my ratings in my server, but basically, well, first, like I say, they said Windows 10 was going to be the last one. That's not happened. It's now Windows 11. Windows 11 is great for the people who probably use it. I know you use it, Micah. I think you have it.
I do.
But
It's excellent.
Yeah. Well, I've not been able to use it because my computer is not meeting the requirements. So I just run it in a virtual machine, which is fine, whatever. But what's more annoying now is, like you say, Windows 10 is maybe the last one. It's not. We're going to 11. And by the time Windows 12 is rumored to come out, which is next year, Windows 11 won't even have beaten market share for Windows 10. So most people are still going to be stuck on Windows 10 while we're 2 versions away from it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't really understand the logic. And I think you talked about it. I think you started talking about like the GNOME interface for Linux because it looks very similar, the concepts for Windows 12.
Yeah, kind of. Just simply the fact, like the one picture that, like the one like major picture that we have of the Windows 12 UI
Yeah.
has this, like, the taskbar is like,
To give some
like,
context,
there's
actually,
there's margins in between there's margins in between the bottom and the sides of the screen and the taskbar.
Yeah.
So it's more like the macOS dock, which I hate. Like
Sorry,
there
sorry,
is
Perrin.
no reason. Okay, yeah. Again, like if you like the macOS dock, okay, sure. Like that's different though,
don't
because again,
mind.
like the dock still touches the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't. Not in
The
recent versions. But
Usually, the dock will like pop up and down when you put your mouse
yes,
down underneath. Which
most
I think
people,
is a
I would
good
say
approach.
most Mac users I've seen use auto hide.
Yeah. Anyone who doesn't
but-
is like a psychopath. TBH.
Yeah.
I've never.
But, so like, but like I don't even know if like does Windows 11 have auto hide?
I
Okay,
don't
it
know.
does. It does. Yes, it does. It sucks, but it does indeed have it.
I mean, the Windows 11 taskbar in general sucks anyway. It's so much more, like, at least in my experience, it's just, what's wrong with the old one, in my opinion? Also, I might just be...
It's gotten.
Also, I'm an old man who yells at clouds,
It's
so
got-
that's probably also...
It's gotten better. Like originally, like the main thing that ticked, like I don't mind it now. The main thing that ticked me off was like when it first came out, that like like in Windows you used to be able to like drag files on top of the open
Oh, this is
application
a big
icon,
thing, yeah.
and it would open it, and it like that just like wasn't a thing when Windows 11 was released, but now it's been fixed. So
I don't get why
think
that
it's
was
fine
removed
personally.
in the first place. That should have been...
I don't know either.
I get...
well, I
it's-
know why. It's because they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
Like this is completely
It
different.
felt...
But
Windows 11 was a strange thing. I just feel like it was rushed. I feel like they rushed it out for some reason. Don't know why. to
they
be
definitely
honest.
did, and in the first few months it was like really rough, but like I think it's good now. I like it better than
Yeah.
It's much like the UI is much more consistent. It's much more responsive. It's much faster. I like it personally.
Yeah.
but-
But it's just strange. Yeah, it's just odd. And to give context, so this leak isn't technically a leak because, I mean, Microsoft leaked it themselves. This was from an Ignite conference. I think that's like their developer conference or one of their developer conferences last year. And for some reason, just in one of the pictures, like one of the screens they were sharing, they showed this demo of the potential designs for Windows 12, and this is one of the ideas. So we don't know if it's like this is the direction they're going, or if it's just like here's one idea, and then we'll just find out it'll be like still just a traditional taskbar. We don't know.
We
But
have
there's
also
some-
seen that there's some overlap too with the Bing Sydney AI, and they're planning on integrating that into the taskbar.
Not surprised
which
whatsoever
would-
of that. Yeah.
I would say I'm not at all surprised at all there.
Yeah.
Based on
I'm
what
just
you
saying.
guys said earlier, Sean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like concepts, because you said they were like super early in development, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because it has to be in early development because if it's
Yeah,
coming
'cause
out
they
next
just-
year.
Yeah, and Windows 11 just came out like last year, right?
Yeah,
So,
2021, I think.
It seems a bit weird to me to like
Yeah.
have a new one that's like completely drastic changes so quickly, especially when
Yeah.
every
I feel
single
like-
new version is supposed to be, this is gonna be the last one, because like
I would like to see
Why not
Windows
just-
11 get market share first.
yeah, why not just
Yeah.
let people
'Cause
use it and get used to it and stick with that for at least a couple more years and then change again? Because if you just rush a change after a change, then no one's ever going to be happy with what they have. It seems a little
Exactly.
bit like alienating to your customers. to have like
Exactly.
4 different versions of the same interface, and they're all like vastly different though.
Because I didn't realize this. Windows 8 or 8.1, I'm not sure if they're considered different, but anyway, Windows 8 just reached end of life this year. That's how long it's been
Good
going.
grief.
Yeah.
I thought that had already reached end
Yeah,
of life.
so I'm saying that they've
Wow.
been supporting it with release security updates for that long, and then Windows 10's not losing its support until 2025, late 2025 at that as well, and
So
then
why not just wait
assuming
till then?
Windows 12 is coming out in 2024, Windows 10's not going to be out of date until the next year. So it's like,
Yeah.
but you're going to have 3 operating systems needing support, and then one of the operating
Yeah.
systems is going to also get the feature updates, which is going to be 12. But then all the people who have just moved on to 11 are now just going to be left out in the rain, unless
Yeah.
obviously everyone who got 11 can upgrade to 12. 'Cause it's not like Mac where everyone can upgrade, or at least everyone who has a supported device, in the sense of like, because since it's all Apple products, they just say like, this MacBook down, all these can be updated. But like any other ones, it's not like, because obviously the problem is if you build your own PC, you don't know what Microsoft might just decide, you have to have this part now for the Windows 12 to work, basically. We just don't know.
You can count that as either like a pro or con for Apple, in that you know what's gonna work with what, even though you can't like customize it at all, which I know is a
It mainly
big
just
reason why
depends.
you guys don't really like Apple.
Yeah.
But like, at the very least, you know that your update is going to be either supported or not, just based on which product you bought.
I'm not as annoyed now with Apple in terms of not allowing customizability in terms of hardware, because at least now their hardware is good. The issue was like the Macs before, like the M chips,
That is true.
they need to be upgraded after like a year to actually stay up to date. Where at least now the M chips are so good, they'll last forever. Not forever, but
Or just
they'll
the
last so
fact-
much longer.
Or just the fact that like they used to sell, like Apple used to sell some truly awful hardware. Like if you look back at like the old iMacs and the old MacBook Airs, like the early generations of those, or not early generation of iMac, but like the
2016 Mac,
I wanna say, like,
up to like
16 or
2020
15
was like rough. I'd say.
I'm
Pretty
gonna
rough.
say they sold like until in 2019. I'm like pretty sure they sold Macs with hard drives in them, like not solid state drives.
Nice.
I'm like,
Nice.
why? Like it's obsolete. I don't know. Whatever. That's
It's the
irregardless,
Apple way,
but-
baby.
Yeah, but Windows 12. Yeah, I don't know why they do it, but yeah, it seems to.
I feel like Microsoft's at a
Seems to be
crossroads.
happening.
I feel like they're at a crossroads. They just don't know what they're doing, to be honest. Because like the issue is they have too much competition now. Windows has actually become more hated the longer it's gone on now. Because people hate Windows for the bloat, for all the spyware and stuff that's installed. Yet you also can't delete, because you can't delete like even Edge. You can't remove it, and it's aggressively used against you. It's not like, because like, if you use the search bar, as you know, Micah, if you try and do a web search, it forces you to open it in Edge, and it also overrides the default search engine you've set in Edge to use Bing. So it's
That's
like
Bing.
incredibly funny in
It
Microsoft's
is funny.
Oh,
defense.
no.
It's
Have you-
petty,
have y'all also
it's petty
seen-
as all hell, but it's really
Have
funny
you
to
also
me,
seen?
the lengths
in
to
the,
which Microsoft goes just to
Yeah.
plug
Have you also
Microsoft
seen
Edge?
if you search Chrome download and
no, it's even worse
it
than
already
that.
gives you like it already gives you the like when you search it in Bing Chrome download, it gives you like this big banner that takes
Yeah.
probably about 20% of your screen that says there's no need to download a browser. But then if you go to the Chrome website,
Yeah, it actually injects JavaScript
it injects
into it.
a banner.
Yeah.
It injects a banner into the thing that takes up a solid 25% of the viewport.
And it gets
that
worse.
says-
It gets worse as well, because after that, if you press download and actually like it gives up the options to open or like save as, it will then, before it does that, it'll come up with a pop-up saying, "Are you sure you want to download this? You have Edge, guys. Come on, please use it, please." It's so sad. And what's
so
actually worse is,
desperate.
Micah, I tested this, right? And this is on Windows 10, by the way. I think only Windows 11 has the injection thing with like putting
Yeah.
banners on the website. But if you search up Microsoft Edge on Microsoft Edge, it still comes up with ads saying use Microsoft Edge.
Man.
Not even
Yeah.
joking. Like that is how petty.
And
they
like
are.
I will also say like like if you go to like if you search Microsoft Edge download in Chrome, it will. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, never mind. No, Google doesn't even have anything like that.
No.
Never mind.
The only thing they do
Yeah, they have
is,
nothing like that.
Like they might occasionally have a thing that pops up in the corner saying, "Hey, Google recommends using Chrome or whatever." But
Yes.
like it's
on,
never.
and that's on Google.com.
Yeah, it's on Google.com.
Like that's
it's
on that's
their
fine.
service.
I don't care.
It's on.
You want
their
to advertise
service,
your own? Yeah. You want to advertise your own web browser on
Yeah.
your own website?
Like-
Then sure, that's what a website's
Like for example, if you're using Bing and Bing puts an ad saying, "Hey, use Edge," that's not a problem. It's their service; they can do what they want. But it's when they're injecting it into other people's websites that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that because then it also puts the question of security. Because if Microsoft's willing, because that means they're tracking what sites you're going on. They have to at least see the URL saying Chrome or whatever it is, Firefox, whatever, and injecting that ad in. So they're at least knowing what links you're clicking.
Yep.
Which isn't very good when one of their big pushes right now is, the security of Edge and everything. It's like it's so secure that it spies on you to make sure you don't use something else.
I may be stupid, but I think I trust Google more than Microsoft with my data.
I don't trust either of them.
I also
Don't trust
don't
big.
think-
well,
don't trust big
I don't-
companies, man. Come on.
No, okay.
like
See,
rule
I
number
don't trust
one.
either of them. But again, like I said earlier in the podcast, I've already given up my privacy,
bit
and
too
I
late
would
at
rather
this
have the
point.
convenience. I would rather have the convenience of using their services than
Yeah.
trying to be some like alt tech hacker,
Well,
bro. Like,
yeah.
there's no way. Like, even if I like, because like I could go use Firefox and DuckDuckGo, and my workflow would be like drastically reduced because I don't like the way Firefox works, and I don't like and DuckDuckGo is just, it may be privacy oriented, but I'm sorry, it sucks. It's just not half as good as Google.
That's fine. I don't have an issue with DuckDuckGo because at the end of the day, DuckDuckGo is whatever. But Firefox slander, I will not take. How dare you? But
As a Safari user,
okay,
I
it's
will
not-
tolerate Firefox slander.
Look,
exactly.
look.
Yeah, same here.
Firefox it's not bad, but like it just doesn't work the way I want it to work.
Okay,
I don't know.
Google,
I just prefer.
Google nerd. Okay.
So you're saying
prefer
your
Google.
opinion is bad.
You have a bad opinion.
So you're saying
I'm
your
saying
own
it's bad for
standards
my
are bad.
workflow personally. I don't know.
See,
it,
this is-
it works fine for other
We
people.
make fun. We make fun of Perrin for being like an Apple fanboy or whatever, or at least using Apple products, and I'm just gonna make fun of you for using Google products now.
Yeah, this is
fair
parents'
enough.
one.
Don't- wait,
True
Sean,
gender
don't-
equality.
Wait, Sean, don't you have a Pixel?
No, I have a Samsung.
That's right. Okay.
Take the L. Take the L, Micah. Take the L.
Okay, I'll take the L. I'll take the
The
L.
trap
Massive L right
failed.
there. Yep, you
Man.
failed there, man. Failed there. You know,
Fair
and
enough.
I won't make it like I know, like I do use Google services. I just use it with Firefox, which at least eliminates
Yeah.
a lot of the tracking. You can
That's
you
true.
can still use Google services while not having them harvest every little bit of data.
And depending on how wacky Manifest version 3 like makes ad blockers and stuff, which I know we've already talked about
Oh
before.
yeah, Firefox
but,
doesn't inhibit
yeah.
ad blockers, by the way. So just saying,
Yeah.
Micah.
Well,
you know,
Google doesn't yet, but
Yet.
they will in the future
Yet.
probably. So if it gets to the point where they are being annoying about it, then I might end up having to switch to another browser engine, which would
Firefox.
be unfortunate.
Firefox,
but
maybe?
we'll see.
Firefox, maybe.
Probably so. I'm not switching to Edge, but
Yeah, I mean,
they're
yeah.
switching to Manifest v3 anyway.
the
So
only other
that's the thing.
option
Regardless.
is Edge, then I would.
I
gladly
know it's
just
annoying.
try.
Edge
Like,
is not a
I-
bad browser. It is not a bad browser, right? It is
it
actually
didn't used
tolerable.
it didn't used to be, but it's gotten so bloated.
It's a bloated
there's so
mess
much
now,
stuff in it.
right?
Yeah.
Because
It is.
I have
When let me just send you a screenshot of what the crap happens
do you have
when
the
I
dev
open
version?
Edge.
Do you have the dev version
No.
that has the Bing
I have-
integration? Right, I'm going to show you that as well. I'll send a screenshot of that because it is even more bloated because it has like the new Bing button. Yes, it has a Bing button because that's how you access like the
What is
sidebar for
Bing?
like the chat thing, like with like the AI, and it's gotten worse because I opened it up today and it also now has the other button you can't remove that's like, oh, you can have two like tabs open like side by side, even though like I can just drag the whole window and just
Yeah.
put them side by side.
Okay, so go
not
look
that
at that
deep.
screenshot. That's what happens when I open Edge.
What is
Look
going
at that.
on here?
Why
That
do
is
I want to
hilarious.
see any of that? I have no desire to see even the weather. If I want to see the weather,
Is that
let
a
me look up the
Wattpad
weather.
bookmark, Micah?
No? Wait.
Is that not the
Hold up.
Wattpad logo?
No.
Your
Right,
ads,
Wait.
that
your
orange
ads are
W?
so scuffed, by the way.
That's
That orange,
my what now?
Your
that orange
ads.
W
You don't
right
know
next
it's
to those two Instagram. Is that not Wattpad?
It's not mine.
Nah, he's just saying that. He just wants
just
to know
saying
what
that.
he's like searching.
Man, what kind of fan fiction?
What
are you reading,
also might I
Micah?
just say, I have a couple questions also on the screenshot I want to ask. Firstly, what a narcissist. You have Vesper bookmarked, and also you also have McAfee LiveSafe bookmarked.
Where? Again, I've never used Edge. I don't know where it's even like.
That's
I don't
what you're
know where
saying.
it's pulling.
I bet you're an Edge
any of these
fanatic.
data.
You're just trying to make out that I don't like
I'm
Edge. Yeah, you
I'm
actually
a
use
closeted Edge user. I actually use Edge 24/7.
Hell
This is
yeah.
Microsoft.
I
This
just-
is Microsoft's impression of what Micah does on the internet, like based on like
I just
what
I
limited
like
data
I
they've
legit
gathered
number
with
okay
all
number
their
one.
targeted
I
ads.
did not bookmark Vesper in this browser. Number two,
How did they get
I
there,
have
then?
never. Okay, so here's another
has to
thing.
get there
It
somewhere.
imports no, because Edge imports your browser data from
You had
other
to press the button
browsers.
to import it then. You still, I mean,
Okay, maybe I pressed the button and didn't. I may have imported
a
it. I did
narcissist.
bookmark Vesper. Yeah, I have so much of my stuff bookmarked. Have y'all seen my Chrome? Here, right. Let me just like take a Chrome screenshot. Apparently,
We're just getting-
regardless,
we're
we
just
should
getting
probably move on.
unbridled
We're
access
so
now.
far off topic. We're not even gonna get to the main topic of this episode.
Yeah, Micah, can you
This
send a
is
screenshot
chaos.
of every program you have on your computer, please?
Would you like that? I don't know if you want that.
I don't know. We'll do that. We should do that as a podcast episode. Just send a screenshot
What like
of all your
what are
browsers.
every programs?
every
Oh,
program
gosh.
you have installed?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Regardless.
maybe at
Okay,
least try
let's.
to stay somewhat on topic.
I'm
Bro
gonna say
has
let's
his
try to
logo
get.
on his Chrome browser. What a narcissist!
I
That
do.
means you actually
I
chose
do.
to do that. I'm just saying.
I did choose to do that.
I
I
just
did
have
indeed.
I just have tablets on mine. It has like changes photos.
I don't have tablets.
You should
Yeah.
get it.
I preferred this because it's more ambient, but whatever. Let's move on to. We're not even at the main topic. Frick. Okay.
40
Never mind.
minutes in.
Okay. Who put in this last news story? That was also
Me.
Sean. All right, Sean, take it away.
Well, yeah, because basically I saw this morning and I thought, well, since we have Corbin and Perrin on, I thought be interesting. So there's more rumors that Apple is going to be launching a 15-inch MacBook Air, a yellow version of the iPhone 14, and most
Color.
interestingly is they're going to be launching the Mac Pro with M2 finally. You know, because right now, if you go to Apple, you can spend like £37,000 or something for like a maxed out,
forgot that was a thing.
maxed out Mac Pro that has Intel processors.
The $37,000 computer.
They
Yeah.
made a Mac Mini with an M2 before the Mac Pro. Like, Apple. I don't know what's going on, man.
I don't
but
think
yeah.
I've actually like seen like a regular Mac with like the giant standing
Yeah.
kind of Mac in a long time. It's been a
It's
very
been
long
some
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not really worth the money, is it?
Yeah, I mean, we used to have on the living room computer. We used to use a Mac Mini, except it was like an old one. It was from like 2013, or I think it was a very very old Mac Mini. No, it was older than that. It's like 2011. It might have been the first Mac Mini they made, but that was what we used to power the living room computer that we all used. But like,
God.
man,
Yeah, that was.
I can't even like imagine a giant computer stand anymore just because I've always been either a Mac Mini or a laptop person. There's no in between. So
See, I used to own the Mac Pro 5.1, which was
this
the
yeah, I think you mentioned this like
this is-
back in the day. Like you used to like use it as like your main setup. I
I
think.
did. It was my main setup, and it was a dang good one too. Here, I'll send a picture of what it
This
is.
is just Micah
It's the
flexing now.
it's the cheese grater. Oh, dude, no, it was good.
Oh, the
but
cheese grater.
It was.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know, but I
so
don't know
it's
what I
from-
prefer more. I don't know if I prefer the bin, like the one that looked like a bin, or the one that was like a cheese grater. It's a hard.
Oh, the cheese
choice.
grater is infinitely better. You know how upgradable the cheese grater is? Like, it is so easy to take apart and access like everything. It's great.
I love how we're just
I actually
calling
like-
it a cheese grater now. It's not even called whatever the actual. I don't
mean,
even know what is actually called the actual model. I just know it's a cheese grater.
it's a cheese grater. They're all cheese.
It was just called the Mac Pro. So,
Oh, fair enough.
but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my Mac Pro. But again, I didn't run macOS on it. I ran Linux and Windows dual boot. It was a
Nice.
janky setup. So
Nice.
regardless. All right. So let's see here. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, well, we are 50 minutes into the episode. Let's get to the main topic.
Nice.
Hang
Let's
on,
go.
hang
Good
on,
long
it was
episode.
only
Let's go.
45. We started like.
Okay, we started a little late. Okay. Regardless. Okay.
Anyway.
So
Anyway.
we just figured we'd spend this this episode talking a bit about ye olden days.
Oh yeah, 'cause we're all
Um,
old people now.
We're all old humans. No, not old, not very old.
Old in
but
like internet.
relatively.
Oh, internet
old
years.
old on the internet.
Old
'Cause,
by
like-
our standards.
Yeah.
So
I
true.
mean, I
Sure.
feel old when I see a TikTok, so I mean, I feel like that's
Thanks.
I think that
I
works.
saw an Instagram reel the other day that said real men don't watch TikTok. Real men watch Instagram reels of TikToks
So true.
6 months after they are popular.
So true.
And I'm like, that is actually
Man, that's me.
beyond
That's how I live.
accurate.
No.
Because I've never downloaded TikTok and I never will. But I
I've-
will watch Instagram reels of TikToks later.
I have a even bigger flex. I've never installed TikTok, never used it. I've never used YouTube Shorts, and I've also never used Instagram Reels.
I never like
That's impressive.
used the Reels tab.
So
but, like,
what I'm
it'll
trying to
pop up
say
in,
is
like,
my attention span is still intact.
Man.
Nice.
It's one of the lucky
See, people will
ones.
send me reels. I don't often like scroll through reels. I do sometimes, but most of the time I get reels by like people sending me reels. I think some of them are pretty funny, but regardless. So yes, so we're old, kind of.
Yeah.
And we're just going to talk about kind of like, I don't know, olden days, sentimental things. And especially since, again, we have Corbin on here who has an account that is 9 years old? Now, almost 10 years old now. 2013.
I thought it was. Anyway,
It was
2013.
2013.
Established 2013.
but yeah. So if I know the lore correctly, the three of you mostly met on Scratch. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We met on
But
Scratch and then Discord later.
before Perrin was on Scratch, I was on Scratch first. So my mom saw that I was a nerd and was like, "Hey, you should learn programming because you're a nerd. Go do this. Go do this thing that I saw in a TED Talk somewhere that you code, but it's for small children." I was like, I don't know, 11 or something. So I made this account, and eventually I started making games, and they got popular for some reason, and I'm still kind of confused. And eventually this
Same.
another one of my brothers happened to join Scratch, and may have met him at
You
some
only
point.
have one brother.
Yeah, one of my one brothers.
Just me.
It's
my
still one of
brothers.
one.
Just one
Yeah.
of them.
So true.
One of them. But yeah, so we've both been on Scratch for a very, very long time. I have personally not touched it in several years.
It's been like
but yeah,
almost 6 years since
something
you've
like that,
touched it, I think.
but
'Cause Because if I recall correctly, you stopped working on like the games you were making in 2017
yeah, I think that
because
was
you
about
because
right.
you moved to your own laptop and your laptop couldn't handle it because your code was too bulky.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
code was so ridiculous or my projects got so big in scope that my laptop, that was finally my own personal computer to use, just could not handle it. And then, I mean, I was already starting to get kind of like tired of it. That was just the final nail in the coffin.
You had
But
some
the end
good
result
games that you never
was-
finished though.
Yeah, so the final project currently shared on this account is half of a very, very large game, and it's part 1, and says that I'm going to release part 2. And the thing is, I actually had part 2 done, and originally it was one game, but the game was so big that it just was like the laggiest thing on the planet. It was entirely unplayable, and so I had to cut the game in half, and then just got tired halfway through and never finished it ever again. But yeah, so back in the day, I was a scratcher called QWERTY NG, and the bizarre thing is almost probably almost anyone who is like active on Scratch between the years 2014 and 2017 probably had heard of me. I had 2 of my games ended up like on the featured projects front page, and some of them got like immensely popular, at least for Scratch at the time. So like one of my games has something like 150,000 views, which is kind of
crazy.
unheard of
That's
on Scratch.
Yeah.
Unless you're Griff Patch.
Unless
Yeah.
you're Griff Patch, of course.
I was about to say, so Griff Patch is basically the Mr. Beast of like Scratch, but without
Yeah.
giving out
That
money.
that is such a
That's
good
a good
comparison.
comparison.
Oh
So
my
the
gosh.
only difference is he doesn't
Yeah.
give out money, but I mean, I
Yeah,
wish
it
he
doesn't have
did.
anything to
Because
do
if
with
so,
money.
Griff Patch,
Right.
if you're listening, can you give me like, I don't know, 10 quid or something? I don't know.
And a car.
Handy.
Realistically, Griff Patch is probably just an average dad who's just like is
Oh,
just
he
really
definitely
good
is.
at coding. He's just an
He's
average
really
dad.
wholesome.
He probably is not that.
What
bad.
if there was like a partner program for Scratch?
Oh,
that
yeah.
would
Funny,
ruin
that
the
would be-
site even more
Actually-
than it already is.
I think that,
Yeah.
yeah, because then, like, we already have the issue of, like,
Man.
people just making, like, projects for clout, like, copying projects and that. I imagine that would just
Yeah.
happen even more now. Like, people
You
would just
click on the
copy
Yeah.
Explore
Definitely.
tab, and it's the same 4 platformers copy pasted. Except every time they copy and paste
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
gets worse.
But what I'm saying is I
Right.
wish people would copy my projects. Because
So true.
mine are terrible, and I wish someone could actually make them better.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, there was a lot
That
of
old The
mine.
Sims
a
4
lot of
project.
people copied
Oh,
too.
great. I need to
Um,
talk about it, won't I? I need to talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, for people that don't know, I have an account called Data on Scratch. The dash in the middle of the word data, because I thought it was cool.
DA-TA.
Yeah, I thought it was cool at the time. It's like 2015, so I was like young, so I thought that was cool at the time. I don't know if that actually is, to be honest. But I made a project. My first project was just a remake of The Sims 4, but imagine
The
it,
Sims 4.
but like really scuffed. It's like incredibly
Oh, it's
scuffed.
it's so bad. It's really bad, but it's hilarious. It's so much fun.
Thanks for the support, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're
With
very
all due
welcome. Here, you know what?
respect, it is-
I'll screen share this
Aw,
to the.
thank you.
Let's go.
I really,
go live.
I really
All right.
appreciate that. I'm not gonna watch that live stream.
Welcome
Anyway.
back to Micah's gamer stream, where he plays the greatest game of all time, Sean's rendition of The Sims 4. on
No,
Scratch.
why do you have to choose a DLC? Right. So I need to explain first.
The best
right?
part of that though is like the default sprite button.
Yes.
That you did
Yes.
not think to draw your own check mark and X. You had to go to the
No.
default library and pull them out.
Well,
yeah.
see, there is an explanation I have, right? So the first bit is I initially made it in Scratch 1.4 because that's where I first learned about Scratch was at school when we used 1.4. For some reason, they forgot 2.0 existed at the time. It was like 2011, so I don't know if I did 2.0
I don't think it
exist in
existed yet.
2011. Maybe not then. But anyway, 2011 was the first time I used Scratch on the school computers, Windows XP era. Like that's how old this was. So Windows XP was still on the computers at that time. So that's how I learned Scratch initially. Then I made the data account in 2015. So I still use that account to this day. So it's like my first account, still use it. I don't know why. Don't question it. And what I did was I imported that Sims 4 project into the Scratch 2.0 online editor and then added like the vector sprites from the library on top of that. So it's just like this amalgamation of like assets from 1.4 and 2.0. And yeah. And for some reason it's got like 60,000 views or something like that. For some, I don't know how. I do not know how. I cannot explain why I did. People
There we
ask me,
go.
did it get
That's
on
insane.
like trending or something? I'm like, I don't know. I never saw it go on trending at the time, and I would have known that
Man.
because I cared about.
So
clout
many of the
at time.
comments are absolutely roasting it. Like this guy just
They
says
are.
boo with
People
a million
still-
O's,
right.
and this one
Is
says
it-
no, 0 out of 10, and this one says this game is so dumb and a waste of my
Yeah.
time, except he spells waste
it's-
wrong.
I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
It's so good. It's such a good game.
Thanks,
It's
Man.
like one of my favorite things.
Oh,
it's
thanks,
so good.
Micah.
A lot of
But yeah,
I
Um,
don't
get it
know
and
what I'm
ums
I'm
and
trying
so
to play
good.
it right now, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
Work and practice
see,
do the
Mike-
same thing.
well, you see, Micah, I didn't know
like
what I
how
was
for the
doing either.
like how the options for adult, teen, and teen and child, it just shrinks the same sprite. It doesn't change anything. I just want to play as a very small man.
Yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. By the way, that's not accurate whatsoever. It's literally just like random numbers. It just generates a
Oh.
random number from like 1 to 100.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Also,
Man.
what may I ask? Why FPS is a list instead of a variable? Like, why do I need to know what the previous FPS was?
Micah, I can't explain it.
You realize I'm just joking. Have y'all seen basketball? Hold up. Y'all haven't seen basketball.
What's basketball?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. You talked about it plenty of times.
You've seen it.
Oh,
Hold up.
You
I
have
need
to.
to.
Have I
But
seen
yeah,
I
basketball?
need to sign into my.
You need to start
Basketball
putting
was-
links to the Scratch games in the chat.
I can't.
Nice.
But basketball isn't shared because most of
no.
my projects on my first
Boo.
account.
Oh, no.
See,
No,
I was
Absolutely gone.
a
You know what? You gotta share it right now and get us.
Yeah, 100%.
No,
Share
because
it
then,
right
okay,
now.
look. If I had not officially left Scratch, then I would share it. But since I've officially left
Oh,
Scratch, I don't want people to
Who
think
cares
I've
if you
gone
left
back.
Scratch? Just share them anyway, and don't like when
cares.
people
Don't let the
question
haters
if you
get
come
you
back
down,
or not.
Micah.
Just do
All right,
not.
here's basketball. This is basketball. Press space to start. I for instructions.
Oh, that
You
is-
hit I, it goes to this wonderful
I
page.
love that drawing.
That's a
That is
very
an
My
amazing-
favorite
That
that
is
is
part-
so
such a
Southern
good drawing.
California.
So press B to go back. Okay, so here we go. Press space to start. You literally use the arrow keys and you move the ball through the hoop.
Doesn't rotate at
Boom.
all.
Goal.
Goal.
Yeah, goal.
That's the
'cause that's
game.
Football.
Man, I like how someone vandalized your
Yeah.
hoop and completely bent it out of shape and then just let it
I know.
rest
It's
on the floor.
It's,
I know. It's
My
bad.
favorite part is that the movement of the basketball is completely discretized, and so it's by finite
It's-
steps. There's
Yeah.
no smoothness at all.
It's also
Oh, no, no, no.
zero
It is-
rotation.
You can
There's
move
a-
single
Oh yeah.
units.
It also
of
when you
direction
hit
in
the
all
goal,
four
when you hit the goal, the
directions.
ball just like teleports back to like the same space. Like, boom.
This is-
I have 5 score.
You have 5
Also,
score?
there's also the fact that I have 5
in
score.
7 years ago?
So look. Also, if I
Wait, so this is like
If I just
basketball in
hold-
Ohio.
yes, so if I just hold down the front arrow key, then watch this. I can just do this, and it goes on
Oh,
infinitely.
no.
And I could just do that, and I get
That's
goals, and
amazing.
I get goals, and I get goals.
See, this is
and yeah, it's
exactly
great.
what James Naismith had in mind when he invented this beautiful game.
Man, this
Exactly.
is exactly what Alan Turing had in mind when he invented the computer. Except he didn't.
This is exactly what Mr. Scratch had in mind when he
Regardless.
invented Scratch.
Oh, man,
Yeah, this is why they invented the internet for.
so true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They say
So
it's for
that's
cat photos,
basketball.
but it's actually for Scratch projects.
Yeah.
It's true.
Man.
If you
Ooh,
look
I
at
have a
my
good, I have a good
games
old project
from
in mind
about
that
the
I just
time, it's very
found.
different.
So
Yes.
if you guys were around between like the golden years, which are 2015 to 2017, there is
Oh,
a
yes.
whole trend where you would make like conspiracy videos where you would use
Oh,
yeah,
those
no.
videos
Yes.
to try to prove
Yes.
that someone was a member of the Illuminati, and I made one
Oh
for
my
Corbin.
God.
I made one.
What's
for
even
Corbin
funnier about
back in
that
the day
is-
on my old account.
What's
They
even
were-
funnier
I-
about
I
that
need
trend?
this.
Really good, actually.
Wait, is it shared on Ultimate Chewbacca?
Yeah, this is real. This is an actual
is
project I have
amazing.
shared.
It's shared. Okay.
It's
It's
shared.
shared,
I didn't have
nice.
voice editing at all because I couldn't figure out how to get text to speech to work. So it's just text, and
Nice.
it takes painfully long for it to go to the next slide. It's great. Some of those were like actually like decently good in terms of
I
like
found it. I found it.
The
QWERTY and
speed
G's
and the
Illuminati.
dramatic, like
Wait.
the
Yeah.
dramatic tension.
So we
of
have an
the-
Illuminati member in the chat right now. We need to kick
Theoretically.
I think we need to kick Corbin out. He's part of the Illuminati.
Yeah, it's
It's
me.
no big deal.
Can you
Everyone's
leave?
part of the
I think
Illuminati
you should
these
leave.
days.
No, I have to be in here so I can report back to the Illuminati. It's very important. Actually.
What do they need to know?
The Illuminati watches the new creators very closely.
So
They-
true.
Are they the
They're a
16
threat to their
followers?
empire.
Yeah.
What now? Oh, yes. The 16 followers are just the leaders of the Illuminati.
Oh,
true.
I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good flex. You know, the Illuminati watches us, so it must be good.
Might not
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
anyone else, but at least we have them.
Yeah.
The
There are
Illuminati was a
the
French
life-
mail.
when
When no
this
one else got me, I
podcast.
know the Illuminati got me.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is
Only
amazing.
real ones now.
That was a great project,
So
Perrin.
true.
Thank you.
So
You're
even
very well
aside
done.
from Scratch, Sean also mentioned a few episodes back that we should talk a little about mod chat, which I think
Yes!
Perrin was around for that.
I never
Yes.
used mod chat. Not gonna lie.
You weren't around for
Oh.
that.
I wasn't
That's
around
right,
for mod
you weren't.
chat. That was
And
was
Corbin
after
wasn't
my
either.
time.
So okay, so it's
No, I had
just
absolutely
me.
no clue.
I'm gonna say so. Then it's just me and.
All right, so cover
me
your
and Sean.
ears. You don't
So-
care about this, so.
Well, okay.
This is the
So,
first time
long
I've
story
heard
short-
those two words together combined.
Isn't it still
Okay,
technically
so-
around?
For context, mod. So when I was younger, I was not allowed to use Discord. Like period. No Discord. Long story. So I decided, hey, I can't have Discord, but I can code. What if I just built my own Discord? And so I decided to build my own Discord, and it was called Mod Chat because it was a moderated chat. It ran everything through this filter bot that ensured that everything was age appropriate and followed the Scratch community guidelines. Because the main people I used to interact with were on Scratch. So let me see if I can find the studio. So long story short, I built this. It was truly awful. Like one of the first big projects I worked on, and it was so beyond bad. Like it was,
How old
I
were
think
you
it's
when you
I
started
think it's
making
great,
this?
but he doesn't like it. I think it's great.
the
So-
original version was awful.
The original version was terrible, like technically awful, but like the meta and the whole community around it made it really good.
Yes. So that was the thing
There's
that I really
nothing
enjoyed.
like
Like
it.
it created this really neat community
Yeah.
with
I'm trying to find
I created this.
the
I found
studio.
the studio.
Have you
I'll
found
send it
it
in the
Can
chat.
you, can you send it? Because
Yeah.
this explains the whole reason why Mod Chat was good.
So
in
it
my
was just this really goofy community of about maybe probably 20 people maximum who just kind of interacted in this really crappy chat environment that I built. And it was super unstable all the time, tons of security bugs. People got cross-site scripted literally daily. A few people got doxxed because
Yeah.
their
Oh, no.
IP security was so bad.
Yeah, and also
Yikes.
people would impersonate others. They'd be able to set their profile picture and name as someone else's user.
Yeah, because you could go in the console and you could change the local storage value of your username, and they would send your messages as that username.
Wow.
So technically, we had Griff Patch in the chat.
It was amazing.
multiple times.
Griffpat actually was in there.
all the
I mean,
time.
he wasn't actually there, but I mean, in spirit.
So, and then a few years, then about a year ago, I got better at coding, and I rebuilt Mod Chat into something that was
somewhat decent.
significant. It's still really janky because I haven't worked on it in a long time, and there used to be an online users panel that would show you everyone who's
Yeah,
online.
that doesn't work anymore.
It's just broken. I don't know why. But yeah, honestly, it doesn't have the same charm the old one had because the UI was bad. The speed was awful. It was hosted on Replit, which I don't know if y'all have used
yes,
Replit,
Heard of it.
but Replit is one of the slowest places you can host code, and it was
amazing.
truly awful.
It was amazing.
There's also the fact that the client and the server were in the same code base, and so it was it's just beyond awful. It was so bad, but it was just a ton of fun because again, it was a really neat community.
I'm trying
A
to
few
find
people got
some
banned from Scratch for using it because apparently Scratch team just hated me. One of my claims to fame is apparently Scratch team noticed it enough to ban the word mod chat in
Wow.
comments. So you
Wow.
cannot say mod chat in comments
Man,
without getting
you've
a
made
warning.
it.
Yeah, we
in,
had to start
in an
saying
environment
MC
when there's a
instead.
rule named after you.
Yes.
that was made
so-
because of
Yeah.
you.
And so we had to start calling it MC instead of mod chat, and so people used to think all the time on my profile
Minecraft?
they're Minecraft. Yeah,
Minecraft?
exactly. Everyone would be Minecraft. No, mod chat, but we couldn't say that on mod chat.
Yeah.
It's
And so we got really creative
yeah.
in how we would get people from Scratch to mod chat, and it was really neat. It was
Yeah.
a really cool little culture. And this
And-
is
2020
2020.
2020 it was because that's when I was
Yeah.
back active because I went on a hiatus in 2019, came back in 2020, and that's kind of when Mod Chat was getting, at least that's when I saw it anyway, and I think that's when you actually launched it. I think I remember, I think we talked about this off I think a few weeks ago, and it was a meme you stole from, not stole, but you took from someone else. Because memes, you share them, that's the whole point.
No meme
They
is
evolve.
truly original.
Exactly, right. So yeah, because Micah made I think he put it on his Scratch profile as his banner, and it was the meme of can we have Discord? No, we have Discord at home, and it was Mod Chat.
Discord at home was mod chat.
It was
so
amazing.
yeah.
That's the other thing, right? So on the original Mod Chat, since Micah didn't have much storage, from what I understand, you had to wipe the messages every I don't know how like what the actual limit was, or like
Okay, well, so the original was anytime. So originally there was no message persistence. So anytime you reload the page, all messages would disappear, which was like really bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was really bad for moderation and like really bad
Yeah,
for
'cause there was
just
no
like user
logs.
experience. Because if you came in late or like reloaded, you had no
You missed
context to the
everything.
conversation. Like
Yeah.
you had no idea what
it
was
was
happening.
amazing. Yeah, and like I say, but it also added on to it because like I say, there's no proof of a lot of the stuff we said on that now because it's all gone,
Man.
and that's what kind of made it special.
Now-
You had to be there to like understand the whole community. Okay, it's kind of what happens with like this server and like my server. It's kind of got its
Yeah.
own little inside jokes and stuff that like
Yeah.
only that community gets. And, it was a
And mod
similar
chat
idea.
definitely had
We've
that.
got like
It
5
did.
seasons worth of Taz Hangout lore that we still haven't even
Oh,
sorted
yeah.
out.
We need to
There's
like.
also-
Micah,
um,
you miss. There is so
You
much.
missed
like,
so
I missed a
much.
lot.
stuff.
That's
missed a
another thing
lot.
we're going to talk about as well. Is the
I would also like to point out that one of the things about original mod chat was it had image uploading, which
Yes.
also awful for moderation, like really bad. But
yeah, and it also slowed down
I don't
the
think we had
site
any-
so much as well.
oh, it really did. But I couldn't afford to host images, of course. So, are y'all familiar with ImageBB?
Yes.
I'm
you
more
can just
of
put
an Imgur
I mean-
guy. Personally.
Okay, so
I am
it's
not
ImageBB.
familiar with a single thing ever created.
Okay, so ImageBB,
Corbin was born
ImageBB is like
yesterday.
this like site where you can just like
I just showed
upload.
up in my spacecraft about a week ago, and I'm
He-
still
he dropped
slowly
from
learning
the
how
sky.
human communication works.
Yeah, so I better stop saying Scottish slang then because you're gonna be very confused. You just gotta start saying
That's-
like Hawkeye, and then people have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Gesundheit.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, ImageBB is like just like an image hosting site, but it's free and it's unlimited. Like you can just host as many images as you want on there.
Yeah.
Well, they also had an API that I could use, and I could make requests to this API and upload images to the API. So instead of hosting the images myself, I hosted these images on ImageBB. So there is an ImageBB page, modchat.imagebb.com, that has every picture that was ever sent by any mod chat user
my God.
ever.
Wow.
And it's
No
just
way.
like random snap that's like
Random.
Some of these are
really
awesome.
weird.
We need to share. Actually, I've never seen this. You'd never told me about this. Like this is like.
Yeah,
This
I mean, this is
history
literally-
right here.
Oh, it is.
You're
history.
witnessing
So this
history.
is literally every image that was ever sent on mod chat.
I think
So if
I
you
think I
go-
recognize some of this stuff. Right. So you see, like I don't know if you're on it just now, Micah, but there's like Q logos, like different Q logos.
Yeah.
That's QEMX.
That was- I would
Oh,
say
that
yeah,
is
that was
Connexus.
That's his
QMX's
old
original
logos when he
logos.
first joined. That's like insane.
Honestly, still kind
Yeah.
of holds up. Not gonna lie.
Oh my. This is actually.
Yeah.
This is
so
like this is actually like down memory lane kind of stuff here.
here's like a bad screenshot of
What it
mod
looked
chat
like.
V1. Yeah, it looked like this.
Man,
It
It
looked.
was
It
really
was
bad.
amazing. Like it doesn't
was
look
really
like
bad.
much, but it was
that
something
contrast
else.
with the purple and the black and the white is incredible.
I know it's
Oh yeah.
it's really bad.
So we also tried to do so at the time, the meme where people would try and sing "Creeper, oh man," like in
Yeah.
Discord chat. So we tried to do that on mod chat, and as you can imagine, it did not go very well.
Oh, I'm
There's
sure.
a screenshot there, but yeah,
Wait, you have a screenshot of that?
yeah. If you go back to the main
in
chat, there's
ImageBB?
one with Corzin. I don't know how you say their name. Yeah. Anyway, it's
That's
there.
funny.
Anyway, it's in
Well,
the
regardless,
sea of images.
I don't want to take up too much time about mod chat because again, since y'all didn't experience it, it's kind of not relevant to y'all. But
Man.
still, it was
Sounds like a
an
good time,
interesting.
though.
It was
Yeah,
a
it
really
was.
interesting
Like,
time in the
it was like
community
the
too. That-
precursor to like what would happen on like the Discord servers, like
Mm-hmm.
Zid's basement and then my server and then Micah's and that. It was the precursor to all that, basically.
I would also like to mention one of the main problems that we had that made it like a really fun was that it was open source, so all the code was on my GitHub, and
wow.
so we ran into this
Yep.
problem of also all the code was in one repository, and it was super easy to just spin up an instance of mod chat. So there are like 50 something clones over the duration of
Man.
mod chat. They're like 50
Yeah.
something like off-brand clones where like all they did was like change some of the styling or something like that.
Ah, yes.
And
John,
like
man.
removed moderation, and like there was some truly awful stuff that happened, but I didn't have to take any responsibility for it because I was like, hey, the code's out there. use it for what you will. But
Man.
it was
Yeah.
it was
wild.
a interesting time.
So one last thing I'll mention about mod chat was I was one of the mods along with Victory, so we would have access. But basically, right, the new mod chat has like an actual panel and it has like all this UI. It's actually really well made, Micah, and like you can ban people and all this. But the old one, it didn't have that, and you just have like commands. So basically, Micah made me a mod, and I said to him, "Well, what can I actually do? Like, how do I like ban someone or whatever?" And it was literally just like I can't remember what the command was, but it was like !ban.
Exclamation point
name.
ban. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And what was great was the problem was like I'd have people message on my profile saying, "Hey, can you deal with such and such because someone did this or that and the other thing." But the problem was like there's no proof because
There's no evidence because everything disappeared after like everything disappeared after since. It was quite funny.
So like what would happen was Victoria would like see something and he would deal with it, or at least know what happened, and I'd have to go to him and say like, "What in the world happened when I was asleep?" It was amazing. Like I say, it was scuffed, but scuffed in a very good, special way.
Endearing way.
Endearing
stuff.
And like Sean said, the new mod chat is like significantly
it's like
better.
How trauma
so like
makes you bond better with those around
Oh,
you.
definitely.
Yeah.
So like the new mod chat has like instead of just so it has like a blacklist filter like it had in V1, but it also runs everything through a neural network, a machine learning network that detects if there's any kind of negative language, profanity, slurs, anything like that. There's no images upload. That was planned feature, but it didn't happen. There's like replies which work and are actually like not awful. And then like there's like I said, there's like an actual moderation panel. It's really good now, but like as soon as I got it like finished, like or at least like the point where it's like mostly finished, then I was like allowed to get Discord, and I was like,
oh well.
So I don't use it anymore, but it technically still exists at modchat.macalonely.com. So.
Yeah, we should at one point we should like do like a TNC live where people have to like message us on.
Oh, I feel
mod
like
chat.
this is that's an excellent idea. We'll have to file that away for for.
We're just coming up with ideas. We're just giving away all of our
Ever-growing
ideas. We came up with an idea for a
checklist
24-hour
of podcast
TNC podcast, and now we're doing
I
this mod
agree.
chat
TNC
video.
subathon, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Stream the whole thing on Twitch just for fun.
Hell yeah.
We should probably move on to music segment, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
I could rant about this
Don't
for
worry.
hours, but I have
we
people
can.
coming
Don't
over
worry.
in like half an hour.
Maybe they can join the podcast.
Hey, maybe so.
I'm just putting it out
The
there.
24 hours has already begun. We just didn't notice it until now.
Man.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was already like.
That meme with Old Rose from the Titanic where it's like, it's been 68 years or whatever.
It's been 68 years. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to go ahead and move on to music segment then?
Okay, if we must.
All right. Corbin, why don't you go first, actually?
Okay,
We haven't
I
spoken in a while.
thought of this like 15 minutes before the podcast started. But the album I kind of want to talk about today is called Manners by Passion Pit. It is, I don't really know how to describe the album. It is one dude, as is a lot of the music I listen to. It's just a single guy making music. But all the songs just slap. They're all very, very weird. He has sings in a very like high-pitched voice. And so a lot of the songs in the album are a little bit odd. But they all suit his voice really, really well.
Imagine if like Tame Impala like mixed with Magdalena Bay, but it was like in 2009, because that's when the album came out.
I appreciate how you spoke in my language of artists.
Exactly.
So I now understand exactly
It's
what it
like-
sounds like.
Some of
Or,
it's
like,
more
if you
dreamy,
take
but it's
the
like really
Bee Gees-
electronic alternative-esque kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of a middle ground between the two.
Nice.
And then vocally, it's like
It's a
if you
very good
take
album.
the Bee Gees, but then make it only one of them, so just one BG, make it a little bit lower, but not by a lot. And then put this in like this like really kind of alternative electronica kind of music. But the lyrics are really, really interesting. One of the songs in the album is it's about like doing drugs, but not in the same way like a lot of like rap is doing drugs. It's more about like being addicted, and just like what that's like. It's a very interesting song. Almost every single song has very confusing but intriguing lyrics. I'll put it that way. I do think it's a very, very good album. That's Manners by Passion Pit.
It's a good.
Gotcha.
I feel like,
Nice.
personally, because we listened to it so much when I was like 8 or 9, I can't really like it this as much as I feel like I should. Like if I discovered it on my own naturally, like a year and a half ago, I would adore this
Yeah.
album. But because I listened to it so much when I was like 8, I just can't really get into it as much.
Yeah.
It's still a really good
I
album.
just imagine Corbin just
Yeah.
like playing it on like a speaker and just shoving it in your face, just like
Yeah.
No, it was.
Listen to it. Listen to
I
it.
only rediscovered
We know
it
this
like the
comes
last
from
few
our
years
dad.
too.
We got it
Yeah.
from our dad. Mostly.
But I'm the kind of person who will listen to one album like over and over again and not get tired of it. Like my whole library is like
Corbin, your
the
library is
low
the same
600
5 people.
songs. Yeah.
You
And
listen to
I'm
5
still not
albums,
tired
and
these
3 of them are
songs.
Adam Young.
Yeah, but they all go hard.
Hey, fair enough.
that's like me, but with like Tame Impala and Radiohead and Beach House.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically my music taste. Oh dear.
I recently discovered a very interesting artist called Dirt Poor Robins. And so, oh gosh, how do I even describe this? Okay, so think like,
I like how every single like album we
Cinematic-
chose him, we have absolutely no
I
clue how
know.
to describe it.
okay, so think like cinematic rock, kind of like cinematic
Huh.
acoustic. Well, not even acoustic, cinematic rock. Yeah, some
Cinematic
some
acoustic rock.
So you got like float like drum kit, and you got like electric guitars, but you've also got like full orchestra, horns, violins, strings. And so but the specific album I want to talk about is Dead Horse. And so Dead Horse is it's really interesting. So from what I understand, I've listened to this album. I discovered them over the weekend. Not weekend, over like the past like 3 days, because yeah, I guess it's basically the weekend. Whatever. Weekend aside, I discovered them very recently. Listened to their album Dead Horse, which is like their most recent concept album. And from what I understand, it's the story of this girl who's living in this dystopian age where artificial intelligence has taken over. And it's all about her and this one other guy fighting these AI overlords. But it sounds really
Bing?
strange.
Is that a Bing reference?
I don't know if or not, but it's also that's the funny thing. It came out in 2020, like way before like ChatGPT or like OpenAI got like really big.
I mean,
But
the
like,
concept of
it's
dystopian
just
AI
really-
has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
yes, it has.
I mean, like, it's
but like
OK
it's now
Computer
it's
and
now it's
stuff
like
that.
really now it's like really relevant. But it's like it sounds like really stupid when I say it like that. But like the songs themselves are like even like as individual songs, they're just like straight up bangers. Like they're awesome songs. Like the sound is so cool. I'm just a sucker for cinematic rock or cinematic pop. But I don't know. It's a vibe. It's really cool. But it's definitely one of those albums that like to fully appreciate it, you want to listen to like the entire album back to back. It's like 20 tracks, I think. But it's quite an interesting album.
Very
Cool.
Sean, what about you?
All right, so I think Perrin can help me out here because he knows his album pretty well as well.
Yes.
It's Currents by Tame Impala. I think most people have at least heard its lead single. Like, the less I know, the better. I think everyone's at least heard it once. Because, it's huge. Huge track.
Very, very famous song.
Very famous song. So, funnily enough, one of the big memes about Tame Impala in general is that everything is made by this one guy. It's Kevin Parker. He does everything. He mixes the vocals, he sings, he does all the instruments, all the producing, everything. Especially on Currents, that was the first time he mixed an album as well. Like basically almost everything was done by him, other than like the art, I think, for the cover. But Currents is kind of like a mixture of Lonerism, which was their previous album, which was like the more rock oriented, like psychedelic rock. But Currents kind of took that in a more pop direction because you have a lot of electronic drums. For example, The Moment has a really rapid kind of erratic kind of drum beat that's obviously
It
very
sounds
electronic.
a little bit like Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. Just a
Yeah,
little bit.
Yeah, it's got a lot. I feel like it's very 80s inspired. It's
Yeah.
quite an 80s inspired record. But and I think it's got also their best song on it, at least in my opinion. Because my two favourite Tame Impala tracks is Let It Happen and Eventually. And anyone in my server knows Eventually, because we play it
Yes.
every single time. And we
Eventually is good.
It is. So we Eventually it's just great, because I think Eventually also shows off like the production quirks of Tame Impala, because something that they do is very compressed. It's really thick, layered. So, like, for example, at the end of Eventually, like the final stretch, it kind of does this thing where it'll cut off all the instruments for like a split second and then cut straight back to them. And then, you know, it's a thing where you can kind of hear just how detailed and layered everything is. And then, like I say, Let It Happen is great in terms of it shows like the variety of the band, in terms of you've got like the electronic side, which is like on the second half of the song, which like kind of switches to electronic drums. Then it also has like a massive guitar solo in it. It's got a lot of different vocal effects and a lot of also psychedelic elements. It kind of just shows off everything the band's kind of known for and what their style is. And just in general, it's a really good, well-produced pop record. It's something that I feel like it's got the catchiness and the accessibility of a pop record, but also has a really distinctive and unique sound that you just, as soon as you hear a track from it, you know it's Tame Impala immediately. It's just a very distinctive sound, and I feel like it's inspired a lot of other records. Because, like, for example, there's a new record I think by Lil Yachty that came out just this year, and it's very much Tame Impala inspired. Like the drum work on it is very similar. It's very heavily compressed and very high in the mix. But yeah,
Very
that's
good.
me album that I chose. I think I'll say favorite tracks, at least top three, would be Let It Happen, Eventually, and New Person, Same Old Mistakes.
Very good album. Alright,
Yep.
it's my turn, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Alright, so I'm here to plug the new Colony House album, because Colony House just released an album about a month ago. I think it was early February. So it's really good. It's very similar to their previous album, Leave What's Lost Behind, in like the general style and vibe of it. It's like very vulnerable, slightly folksy alternative rock, where it's like these band members just talking about, oh, these are like the anxieties I have about doing music, or oh, I'm a bit just sad in general and I don't know if like my religion is a good idea or whatever. But it's very like earnest lyrics. It's very like, it's very easy to like sympathize with, I guess. Like there's a lot of really good tracks in this album that like kind of hit me on a personal level. Like the song that closes the album, I'm Not Dying, is really really good and like made me cry the first time I listened to it. Like at least the first time I like really took in the lyrics. It's a really just like really really strong album. It's a bit, I would say it's a little bit inconsistent, because it starts out with like the first couple tracks are really like upbeat, more straightforward beach rocky type songs, which is a bit weird for them, but it also kind of makes sense with their vibe sometimes. Like some of their songs fluctuate between like very like stereotypical 60s-ish esque, I suppose, like rock, but a lot of the time it is more like folksy, vulnerable, alternative stuff. It's a really really good album. Really really
Yeah,
like it.
I like Colony House a lot. Colony House is
Very good
like,
band.
pretty cool.
I
Cool,
still
cool.
think it's probably not my favorite of theirs, but it's still very much worth a listen. I think it's easily their second best album, and there's a lot of really good tracks on there. I think my favorites are probably Man on the Run, I'm Not Dying, and what's the other one? Don't Give Up on Me. All very very good songs. Good album.
Very
Cool. So
Good to hear it.
since it's the music segment, can I complain about something really quick that I found out this week and I'm very upset about?
Sure.
So, some people may know I'm a big hater of Ed Sheeran.
Bass.
So I want to make it clear. Don't hate the guy, all right? He seems like a cool guy, seems chill, pretty humble, whatever. That's not my problem. My problem is his music sucks. I'm sorry, it's just bad.
It's really
Right?
not good.
Shape of You ruined my my teenage life, my teenage years. It ruined it because everywhere I went, it followed me. I couldn't escape it, right? So then when his new album Equals came out in 2021, I reviewed it because I tortured myself. I listened through the whole thing. I'm one of the few people who, decided to actually listen to the whole record, and it sucked. I hated it. So, there's that. And then what I found out this week is he's got a new album coming out already. It's only been like
Yay.
2 years, and he's got another record.
Hey, if you
coming out.
make generic songs, then it ain't that hard to make.
It's kind of a testament to the quality of the songs that it keeps pumping out
Yeah.
albums year after year.
True,
and it's
but
the same songs basically.
Yeah, it's painful. Like I say, and it's more frustrating because he has had a few good tracks, right? I'll say it. He has a good couple songs that I don't mind. Specifically, Dive off of Divide and also Supermarket Flowers off of Divide. They're both decent tracks that I think have good writing as well. But other than that, the rest of it, like you say, is just generic. It's painfully generic. I've never heard something so painful in my life. It's
Would it be a good comparison to say Ed Sheeran is this generation's Justin Bieber?
I mean, Justin
Bieber,
Bieber.
where you either love him or hate him, and he's like very stereotypically like poppy and stuff, and a lot of the stuff's a little bit generic. I mean, I'm not like a huge Justin Bieber listener, so
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like aspects of his discography that I've completely overlooked or just don't know about. But just based on vibes.
Actually, it's a good comparison because if you might remember, he also did another album in 2019 because this man just will not stop. He will not stop torturing the world with his music, right? He released an album of like collaborations, and the big track off of it was I Don't Care with Justin Bieber. And I can't remember who said it, but some reviewers said that Ed's voice and Bieber's voice like sound so similar, it's like pouring water into another glass of water, and I think that's a perfect example of like it genuinely does. I'm not even joking. Like it's just painfully generic, and again it's just shows like it's a good comparison because they both sound quite similar just in voice, and also their music to an extent is similar. I'd say obviously Ed's more acoustic than Bieber relies a lot more in production than Ed.
Another like recent music comparison I realized like somewhat recently, like I'm a huge Imagine Dragons hater. I cannot stand Imagine Dragons. Like Ed Sheeran. They're like if Ed Sheeran was a full band.
Look,
they're like if Ed Sheeran was a full band.
They've got some good stuff.
They've got like 3 good songs and they're all overplayed to death. But like
a broken
the one
clock's right
song
twice a day.
Yeah, exactly. So like their main song that's popular right now, Bones, I hate it so much, and it plays on the radio every single place I go. It's
Bones.
just so bad.
Is Bones the one like
it's the one that's just
isn't it like a meme?
No, it's not. It's like an actual song that they want. It's just sound.
No, I know.
Everything
I've
that's on
heard
the
it.
popular.
It's on one of my playlists.
I was
actually,
talking with a friend, and I was saying, I was like, I feel maybe it's just me, but I feel like Imagine Dragons is the Nickelback of this generation.
Yes, that is a perfect comparison, actually.
Because it's the same thing. I also hate his voice.
I would also like to
say the music is okay, but like the writing is horrible, and the guy's voice.
Another
just
song. Before you say what you're going to
me.
say, Micah, one other thing I want to play about is "Believer" by Imagine Dragons. I just
That's a
that
solid.
song up every fiber of my being.
I like that song, but it was overplayed to death. That was what ruined it for me.
I think the issue of Imagine Dragons
song.
in general is that their production is so overblown. Everything just has to be. It's too dramatic. Like it feels like it's like the weight of the world is like on their shoulders, but like the actual music itself is like so.
They feel that they
sounding.
think they're so more edgy than they actually are.
Yeah, it's like 21 Pilots at the start of their career. Like when Blurryface came out, it was like the same thing. Like, oh, look how edgy we are. But then when Trench came out, it was like, oh wow, they're not just trying to be edgy.
Exactly. I feel like Imagine Dragons is just trying to be
that's some
edgy.
hot takes right there. Okay, so number one, I don't.
My
My one defense is, and then we need to wrap this up because we're like nearing like an hour or 45 minutes. It's a long podcast.
Good.
First of all, okay, I think you listen to music in different contexts. So if I'm like listening to like something like hype me up, or like we're driving down the road with a squad, like okay, like maybe I'll play like an Imagine Dragons song. But like if I'm just like listening to music, most of the time you're right. I want to listen to something that's more lyrically interesting or more musically interesting. And I would agree with you about their production. Like their production style is like very much overblown, overdramatic.
Yeah.
And then Also, I would say there's nothing wrong with blurry face. Like I like blurry face personally.
I thought I'd
it's a
say
good
right,
album.
blurry face has good tracks and has a good concept, but the execution of that concept could have been better. And I think Trench very much shows that, because Trench is basically
Trench is better.
Trench is a
what
better
Blurry
album
Face was trying to
conceptually and
accomplish.
just in general. Because the thing with Trench was it's basically Blurry Face's concept on a larger scale and done better.
Yeah.
And that's why
I
I
like
hate
Trench a
Scale
lot.
and Icy so much.
Scale and Icy.
That's true.
I'm going to say
That's a
Scale and
whole
Icy
nothing
sucks.
there.
It's
It's just a nothing burger.
It is such a nothing burger. The only track that's even
Again.
slightly interesting is Redecorate, and that track is the only one that's produced by the same guy who produced the entirety of Trench. So I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Again, I think it's a different vibe, so I see why
Like,
you
it's
say
not
that.
the
But
vibe that's
again,
the issue. It's that the issue I feel is that it's such a downgrade on every other level. Like, I don't have an
Yeah.
issue with it being more positive and less depressing or anything
I
like that.
I
That's
don't
not
think
the
there's
problem.
anything wrong with them trying to do pop, but it's just not interesting.
But the thing is, they've always been pop. The issue is this
Yeah.
pop is just painfully generic. Like their personality and their genre blending and that is completely devoid on this record. It's just gone,
interesting.
pretty much. Like what? Like, I mean, No Chances is basically Pet Cheetah, but without the cheetah, basically without any of the teeth.
Hot take: I think No Chances is better than Pet Cheetah, but
Oh,
I mean, I'm not even that much
I
of a
just
Pet
don't
Cheetah
like.
that
I
is a
just
hot
don't
take.
like Pet Cheetah.
Pet Cheetah's
It's a very
really
hot
good.
take. I just don't like Pet Cheetah. That's my least favorite. It's my least favorite track.
Probably
on
my
Trench,
least
but-
favorite track on Trench, and I still like it more than No Chances.
Well,
if it's
regardless-
not the worst track on Trench, it's Smithereens.
Oh, I like Smithereens.
It's not a
Smithereens
bad
is
song.
cute.
It's just
Okay.
the worst one on the album.
It's
but
cute.
the entire album's good.
Yeah.
It's cute,
Anyway.
but that's it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Regardless, we are almost at an hour 45 minutes. So let's
Man.
try to wrap it up a little bit. I do not. We can okay. We can join the Discord at discord.michaelinley.com, or go to bio.link/TNC to find us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on all the platforms.
Waste of
You can
dot
follow us
money,
there.
baby.
Bio.link. Wasteof.money. Yeah, so that's bio.link/TNC. We do not have anything specific planned for the next episode, so we'll just kind of see what happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this has been the New Creators Podcast. I'm Micah.
I'm Sean.
I'm Perrin.
And I'm Corbin.
Alrighty, and we will see you in the next one.